Hi, I'm Earl from Earl's Meat Market, and today we are going to show you how to make boneless blade steaks from a pork shoulder. So I've got a pork shoulder here, and this is basically how it would come off the table at the butcher shop. So what you do is when you start to bone this, you take it from the bone side. This is where it would go to the rest of the shoulder, and you just start to cut down. Keep your knife flat, because this part of the bone is very flat. You're pulling the meat back with this hand, and you're cutting, and you're staying on the bone with your knife. And you just keep going around and around till you get to the end. And it's very, very obvious, because as you're pressing on, your knife sort of falls into it. So then you need to release the meat on these two sections of the bone before you can come to the other side. So you take your knife again, you're holding it more like this, and you just come and make one slice down this way, and you come then on the other side and make one slice that way. Now the top piece of this is the pork shoulder blade. So the blade bone has what is called a sail on it. So you take, again, you're pulling with your hand, and you're with your knife, you're just staying on the bone with your knife, and with your other hand, you're pulling back. Just keep working around the bone, and there you go. And that is the blade bone. Now you just continue. You're removing the outer part of the shoulder. You just keep removing, and you just cut right straight down. And now you've got, this would be considered the mock tender, and this is a flat iron piece. So now you're turning it back upside up, okay? And because I'm right-handed, I find it's better for me to cut on the right-hand side of the primal. If you're left-handed, you might find it's easier to go this way. So again, whatever's comfortable. We're working with sharp knives, so you want to make sure that you know where that knife is at all times. So you can just take, because this cut will not be perfect from the butcher shop, so you just take it and you square it off nice, and then cut steaks again about 1 inch to 1 1/8 inches thick, and that's preference. So you can definitely cut the steaks a 1/2 inch or 3/4. You just keep cutting all the way down the entire length of the pork shoulder. The pork shoulder is it's a tender cut. It's like the pork tenderloin. It is one of those very underrated cuts. Now, because this meat is so nice and tender, what I normally do with this is the smaller strips that cannot be made into kebabs, then I would make them into stir fry. But the bigger pieces that make nice kebabs, I work them into kebabs. And so then basically you just go back to the rest of the shoulder, and this is commonly known, this piece here, it's a mock tender. You just would trim it up to your desire. Whenever you're trimming, you're always moving your knife away from yourself. You don't want to be trimming to where you're pulling your knife into you. You want to pull your knife away. So then basically you cut it 1 inch by 1 inch or so. And then these can be skewered, or they can be put in a package and frozen, and taken out, marinated, and skewered later. But this is how you would chunk up the rest of the shoulder for kebabs. You know, you buy a little bit bigger piece of meat, but then you go home, do a little bit of cutting with it, and it just adds value for you and your family. Okay, now these pieces, what's left are a little bit on the small side, so we'll just cut them into stir fry. We've taken one primal, one shoulder, and we've made multiple meals of steaks, multiple meals of kebabs, and here we also have a meal of stir fry. If you're looking for a cut of meat like this, come to Earl's Meat Market, where we can help you cut a little and save a lot.